How's it? Welcome to Grappling Dummy, a place for me to analyze fights and study the art of combat. I'm not here to hype things up or pretend I have all the answers. I'm here to slow fights down, take notes, and understand why things work. Today we're looking at Daniel Cormier versus Dan Henderson, and specifically why DC was successful with his takedowns. The key takeaway from this fight is simple. Daniel Cormier succeeds because he chains takedowns, not because of one perfect shot. Let's start in round 1. In round 1, at 427, Henderson throws a heavy overhand right. As he throws, DC ducks and defensively level changes into a shot. But he's down blocked, and instead of forcing the shot, he builds back up into an Uchimata probe. This isn't a full commitment throw, it's a read. He feels Henderson's weight isn't pressuring forward, so he abandons the Uchimata early. Rather than committing to the throw, DC transitions to an over-under, steps his left leg behind Henderson, and finishes with a clean Kosotogake. Notice how DC elevates Henderson's upper body over the blocked right leg. The takedown comes from the chain, not the first shot. This takedown works because DC doesn't insist on the first idea. He transitions immediately when he feels resistance. In round 2, at 425, DC throws a 1-2, but he's really using it as a feint to enter the single leg. At 424, he shoots a single leg underneath that rhythm. Henderson does a good job staying heavy and pressuring forward, which knocks DC off balance and brings him down to a hip. As DC pressures back in, Henderson makes a Hail Mary front headlock attempt, but that decision costs him his base as he bails on the sub. Henderson is now in guard, and DC transitions into a Toriando-style jiu-jitsu pass through the J-point of the guard and secures side control. This sequence shows a different lesson. Pressure and persistence beat a single moment of resistance. In round 3, at 424, DC throws a few high kicks, then returns to a familiar pattern. A 1-2 into a takedown entry. Simple shoot boxing. He shoots the single leg and transitions to a high crotch. DC gets underneath Henderson and elevates him into a clean overhead slam. Henderson briefly scrambles back to his feet, but DC never disengages. At 416, DC chains and perfectly times an outside foot sweep, forcing another mat return. This is the clearest example in the fight of DC's chain wrestling. No reset, no hesitation, just chain the next attack. When you study Cormier's takedowns closely, you start to see that he isn't chasing finishes. He's building them. They're about connection. Shot to clinch, clinch to throw to trip, wrestling to jiu-jitsu. DC doesn't look for perfection, he looks for momentum. And that's the real lesson here. Takedowns don't happen because one move works, they happen because you don't stop moving when the first one doesn't. Thanks for watching Grappling Dummy. I'll see you in the next breakdown. Shoots.